Welcome to Chasing Truth, a show produced for those who love and deeply value the truth. I'm glad you're with me today. We're going to look at this issue of marriage from the Creator's perspective. Now, you know, the whole idea of marriage now is a big issue. It's been a big issue for quite some time in our nation. In fact, it made it all the way up to the Supreme Court, and our Supreme Court actually legislated same-sex marriage. And so everyone's now reworking and redefining this whole institution of marriage, and it's just going to go more and more down this path of redefinition. So I thought, let's do a show on the creator of the universe, the one who created all things seen and unseen, and see what his perspective is on marriage. So, what shall we do in light of all of the ideas concerning marriage, and now a state which has control of the public school systems, which now is legislating ideas about marriage and ideas about sexuality that are totally, in our perspective from the scriptures, out of line with what the Creator said. What will we do? It feels like we're against all odds, and in many ways we are. I say we're going to courageously teach our children what is true and what is real and what is wholesome in regards to marriage. We're going to teach from the Creator's perspective. We believe the Creator creating us by design has the answer for what is true and real when it relates to marriage, not a godless state. Not a godless state who in many ways hates the words of the Creator. They will never get it right. They will never get it right. So we're going to teach from the Creator's perspective a view of marriage that we feel is true and real and wholesome. And we're going to warn our children of the very things that actually bring confusion and defilement and pain and misery as a result into our lives. Our responsibility as parents is to teach our children well and to teach them the design, the values of our Creator. So let's look at what our Creator would have us teach our children. And then let's also begin to think through some basic and foundational curriculums on human sexuality based on the definitions and the design of our Creator that we can put together and begin to use and share and really provide for our children so that they grow up with a healthy view of what it means to be a human being, what it means to marry, what it means to be male or female. It's our responsibility to do this. We have to rise up and take that responsibility. The state is so far off the map that we can no longer rely on them to support our families. So let's look at this. I want to jump down to basically the few texts that we're going to start with today. We're going to have some shows on this later on. We'll just continue down this path. But let's begin in Genesis chapter 1 and verse 1. What is the Creator's view, right? So Genesis 1:1 says, "In the beginning God created the heavens and the earth." God is the Creator of all things seen and unseen. Everything that is seen or unseen is created by the living God. He's the Creator. So let's look at the Creator and how He designed us. Genesis chapter 1, verse 27. Let's jump all the way down. Think about this. Verse 26. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image according to our likeness, and let them rule over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the sky, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth." So humanity, as we see, is made in the image and likeness of God. Every human being has within him, even in his fallen state, the image and likeness of God. To some degree, it's marred through sin, but it's still there. And I want to state that when God made us in His image, we were made incredibly beautiful and powerful and intelligent. We are intelligent, moral beings made in His image. And He gave us the authority to rule and reign with Him as the Creator over all of the world that we live in today. Verse 27 says this, So God created man in his own image, and in the image of God, he created him male and female. He created them. So did you catch that? Human beings are binary in their biological gender. In other words, there's only two biological genders by the Creator's design. And that biological gender is either male or female. Two genders, not 56 and growing, not the 56 and number of genders and now, growing, and, some put it at 68 now. And this is what our government, of course, is espousing. Take a look at the 56 plus genders. As you read down through them, I guarantee if you haven't, parents, if you haven't, go Google them and read through them. Your head will be spinning as you try to sort them all out. And I'm telling you, this is causing mass gender dysphoria from sea to shining sea. Now, the way of our godless civil government when it comes to this issue is basically chaos out of order. In other words, we had in place for the, for the foundation of our country all the way up to the last couple of years, this idea that there are only two biological genders. And out of that order has come chaos. Our new godless elite leaders in government are now espousing this chaos of 56 plus genders. It's so confusing. It's bizarre. And I say, parents, we've got to rise up and say no to this chaos. The Creator clearly states that he made us male and female. That's two biological genders. That's binary, if you will, male and female. Teach your children well. Teach them these facts from the Creator. And also teach them that our godless and lawless civil leaders are now very confused themselves. And they're spreading this confusion, this dysphoria everywhere. We need to pray for our teachers. We need to pray for our government leaders. They're sick in the head. They've lost their moral bearings. We need to pray for them. And I'm telling you, get ready, because the war is coming. If we do nothing, we're going to lose our children to the state and its defilement and its misery. Or we're going to stand up and we're going to, teach our children and teach them well and fight against this. I want to encourage you, join a church. Join a church and teach your children well, safeguarding their joy and their happiness in life. Together, we can encourage ourselves as we wait for God to overthrow these perverted haters of all that is good and right. We need to drain the swamp, to use a phrase that's well known today. Now, let me jump down to verse 28. It says, God blessed them. He blessed them. Adam and Eve, male and female, he blessed them and said to them, be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth and subdue it. Rule over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the sky, and over every living thing that moves on the earth. Again, two biological genders, male and female. And then he blesses them and he commissions them to come together. This is marriage. He commissions them to come together and procreate, to have children and lots of children. This is the basic design of marriage and the family. All other definitions, I'm telling you right now, all other definitions and designs are perversions of what is true and real. Please don't settle for anything less for yourself or your children than what the Creator of the universe clearly stated as the design of marriage and family. Don't settle for anything less. Now, in our application, this is where it gets tough. You may have to pull your children out of the defilement of the public school systems and homeschool. And I want you to know you're not alone in this. You're not alone in this, parents. There's such an awareness nowadays of this crisis that we have before us. Find others who love God and His ways and work together with them in teaching your children. You have to organize some support groups, some small groups as you work together in teaching your children. Please join a church. You'll never fight this battle successfully against this wicked, godless state system that we're living under right now. It's going to take the church to create a buffer between the state's abuses and our families. So join a church. Join a church who loves God and His ways. And vote, please vote for political leaders who love God and His ways and are also willing to legislate those ways. And be encouraged, finally with this, be encouraged. Jesus is coming, and heads are going to roll in the streets of every nation as He takes the godless beast systems down, along with every person who is aligned with them. In the meantime, we will love and teach our children the ways of the Creator of all things seen and unseen. His ways are good, they are moral, they are satisfying, and they are right. They are true. They're the real deal. Well, that's it. Thanks for joining me today on Chasing Truth. I want to encourage you to subscribe to this channel below. If you have a chance, comment, and check out all of our social media at graftedin.com. Thanks.